do you discover the blockages in people, especially your clients when they come to you? The clients who come to you mostly are not artistic background. Is that what you
Yes.
said?
Yes.
Why do they come to you?
Good question. Why do we usually attracted to other people? Because they have something we don't.
Tell me more about that. What do you mean?
So basically, how do I advertise myself, right?
Uh-huh.
I advertise myself through my authenticity. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I had a meeting with a girl who wants to work with me. She had this um, desire once she saw my page. What does she see on my page? That I live my authentic life. That when hardships happening, how I handle them. That I'm not afraid to speak about me, who I am, and what I go through. That I'm not afraid to use my voice, right? That I share my story. And on top of that, she can see that I very openly and freely go on stage. I can present myself. I sing and I have that freedom and I know my voice. I'm so connected to it, right? And all of that makes her feel I want that too. So she comes to me and I do this session with her and I'm asking her, like, what are you looking for? And she said, I want to open up the potential of my voice. I work with people and I know that I can help them more if I improve my voice and if I have that freedom. And she says, I know if I start singing and allow myself, because I'm so scared, it's like one of the biggest challenge for me to actually sing, not only in front, like even in front of you, just in front of one person, right? So what blockages I see right away? I know she doesn't know how to use her voice. So I know that the more I'm going to explain to her how the breathing works, how we use our diaphragm and how to build that, the vibration through entire body, she's totally going to feel herself different because I know how it is. When I speak, like with my voice and I enjoy it so much, I know how much confidence I project. And I know she wants that. And I know she probably sometimes feel restricted when she's with her clients. And she said, I want to improve my creative side and I want to help my clients not only one-on-one. I want to create retreats. I want to create this and that. And she says, I know in order for me to do that, I have to be more on stage. I have to be more like public person. And that's what she sees in me. And she comes and she said, tell me how to do it. And then we go through first the blockages, physical body. I'm going to teach her. I'm going to see how she creates a sound. And once I see she's not breathing correctly, or like she keeps her body very tight, I will need her to relax to find out where her body goes into the blockage and holding herself together, right? Then mentally, once she's going to think, oh my God, she judged me or I'm not good enough, I will see her doing that and I will stop her and I say, okay, let's talk about it. Because there's so many times I received clients who came to me and she said, I try to work with a voice specialist because I'm really scared to use my voice, but I was not comfortable. I can't even sing in front of her. And I understand what's happening with those people. So that's why I said, I know I can help you because I create very safe environment for them so they can share. And I think that's one of the main things that a lot of people who work with other people, they don't understand that people need to feel vulnerable next to you. That's the only way how you can help them grow.
How do you, because you cannot choose your audience, obviously. You just go on the stage and start performing. How would you deal with that rush of energy and that amount of energy that is coming to you, regardless of what kind it is? Either it's praise or judgment or, anything that I think of. But you are the one and only recipient of that energy coming to you. How do you deal with that? Can you share one of your takes with us?
There is a couple actually. Again, and I think more than anything, it has to do with how much of self-value you build internally. Because I've seen and worked with experts who've done tremendous researches, who are great experts. But once they come in front of other people, they can't even present their work or speak about it in a very high level because there is no self-confidence. There is a lot of knowledge, but there is no self-confidence, right? So, having this very big self-value and understanding what you worth and that confidence It's very important. But we have to start, because we have, as I named those 3 levels, we have to start from the level 1, which is physical body. If you don't know how the breathing works, and if you don't understand that you control your breathing and not your breathing controls you, you're never going to be able to perform and control your nerves. Why? Because your nervous system connected with your breathing. And once you go into shallow breathing and you're afraid, your vagus nerve sends the direct signal, I'm in danger. I don't care about anything. I just need to survive. All of your knowledge, all of your confidence gonna go away. As soon as you know that you have to bring your breathing all the way down, relax, control it, and manipulate it all the way down to your diaphragm, your brain, through that same vagus nerve, receives the message, oh, she's comfortable, everything is fine, there is no danger around her. Then I can gain control back on what I say and how I behave, right? So once I do that, feeling that my audience is not really friendly, first I have to gain the control over me. Once I did that, that's another technique. I call it put on the confidence. It's a visual thing, but sometimes it helps, especially those who like singing on stage, to remember and connect it with the breathing. When we feel that our lungs expanding, our diaphragm and our ribs starting to go in opposite directions, if you can imagine that around those ribs, because that's another very psychological, I mean, this is all about psychology, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, what you need to convince your brain that you're confident and you're comfortable, right? And then you can emotionally take over your audience. You can connect with them. And I'll talk about it in a minute. But the first one you do, you have to make yourself confident. And we have this psychological thing. If our space, right, like the elbow length around us, if somebody invading this space, we feel uncomfortable. So when we see people and all the energy going towards us, we already feel small and we kind of going this way. So what we do psychologically when we take breathing, we feel that our ribs are expanding. And around those ribs, I ask my clients to create a ring of confidence. Not only your ribs are expanding, but you on top of that, creating the ring around yourself. So psychologically, your body starts feeling that I am in a safe space. Nobody's gonna, intrude it. That already gives me that my shoulders are going down and I can concentrate. Oh yeah, I remember I'm here because I'm sexy. I'm here because I'm going to be singing this, whatever, Marilyn Monroe song or whatever it is. You're already building that character. You can go to your self core. And people are already interested in that because it's something different. It's already some type of entertainment for them. But then what we do, we have to go emotionally in the same level with them. They are there because there is a reason. And if we can show them that we are vulnerable, especially if you're nervous, it's really good to say, you know what, guys, I'm nervous. It brings that, high stakes down. Because if you're trying to look professional, and like you make a mistake, people are gonna say something, But if you acknowledge it, you bring mistakes but a very high lower, and you be showing them, I'm a human as you are. We're on the same level. And I'm here to share my story. If internally you know that the only reason you're here because you want to share and you have good intentions, that all that matters. That's it. And then people start, connecting with you emotionally. And then you can start sharing your story. So that's very important that so many people don't know how to do it. They go into the opposite reaction. Oh, well, the audience was bad. They didn't want to listen to me. What did you do to win them over? Why they have to listen to you? I always tell my clients, find your big why you're there. And even if you can connect and share your experience with one person, you can change one life sitting, out of 1,000, you already did good.
Great point. How do you describe vulnerability? Especially in performing arts and in the society. You can expand it to relationship if you like to, but performer, this is very important for us to be vulnerable. And at the same time, not to ruin ourselves. So please talk to me about that.
It's a very good, like I had a client who was so vulnerable, like every single time she would sing on our, group lessons, she could get so emotional that she would start crying in the middle of the song. And I was like, listen. And she's like, I can't. The lyric is just so beautiful. And I started imagining all this and I can't. And I said to her, that's amazing. That's amazing that you can connect and you being vulnerable and everything. But we have to combine two things. We have to combine technique, because we understand we're doing this for people. If I only do it for myself and I start crying, that's very selfish. That means I was not able to bring my vulnerability across to people. Right? And so if I feel vulnerable, but in the same time, I can take that emotion, not drag me down into crying and sobbing, but to crying and continue, like elevating into how I experience it. And there is a burst of emotions that other people are moved by my emotions. That's a skill. That's professionalism, and to me, being vulnerable as an artist, it means internally I can fully give access to what I've been through, to my emotions. If I can, at the same time when I'm singing or performing, can connect with my own experiences that I went through. Maybe they were painful, maybe they were scary, maybe they were whatever type of emotions I experienced, but I'm able to live through them again in front of other people. That's my vulnerability. And I think that every single artist, they have to constantly improve their emotional intelligence in order for them to be able to share it and to show it.
How do you improve your emotional intelligence?
I think, in my opinion, you work on your emotions. You experience them when they come to you. You don't fight them. You live through them, and then you acknowledge them. You talk to yourself. You observe internally, what did I go through, and don't run away from uncomfortable circumstances, and the more you talk about them, and because so many people, when I especially start working with boys, because they're very like more structured people, when I ask them about the emotions, they have maybe like 5, 10: mad, sad, happy, vulnerable, and that's it, But if I'm asking a person who is very creative and emotional, they have so many different emotions. They will explain, how it feels and this and this and that, but it's not enough. You have to like kind of create a bank of your emotions. So if it's a sad day, sometimes people like substitute. They go into, oh, I just not gonna let the bad emotions ruin my day. But what they do, they block in them. And then when they come to me and they have a singing session, they have this lump in their throat, because the emotion of, for example, sometime they wanted something and they didn't express it correctly, got stuck. And that's another blockage if we're talking about, like mental, emotional blockages, and that's still in them. But when they sing through it, they're like, oh my God, I realized. I actually had something like that. I had a girl who realized she still was holding, and she didn't live through a feeling of being betrayed by her friend in childhood. And she always would get very same, and the life always will teach you. It will always put you in the same situation with different scenarios, with different people, but the same story, the same emotion that you didn't live through. And so she, once we started singing session, she remembered, because the emotion came to her. And that moment came to her when her friend betrayed her. And she just put it on hold. She froze it. So she never lived through that. So life sometimes giving us not very good, circumstances, but if we block them, we don't learn from them. We don't let that emotion to live through you and get certain realization internally. That's how the bank of your emotions and your emotional intelligence kind of grow.
That makes sense. I'm gonna slightly direct the conversation towards your holistic nutrition.
Okay. Okay.
I'm fascinated by you, and very inspired by all this different paths that you have gone.
Thank you.
Of course, how do you bring all those together? Your astrology, your hospitality knowledge, performing arts. How do you bring all this into your coaching business to help people self-express themselves in the most fabulous ways? And
Wow, it's a
I want to know also about the holistic nutrition and the importance of it for the voice and our bodies. I mean, especially as performers, our body is our instrument. How do you take care of that, and what do you teach your clients about that?
So, I think that all of those experiences were chosen my soul, so I can live through multiple lives through how like one life. Because like if you think about it, so many different paths, from travel business to restaurant business to nutrition and holistic business to astrology and psychology to the voice. And if I look through all of them, if I imagine myself right now having a role in the movie, I can be anything. I know I have a knife skills. I have like different types of sets that I can use, on the screen or whatever it is. Like it's another thing I think that every creative person who is on stage, they kind of have this like hunger for different things. And as soon as they feel like they lighten up internally, they want to go and learn about it, right? So I think it's one of the reasons why, it was like so broadened up in a different fields. It always part of my growth, right? So one time when I kind of again lost myself and I said, I'm not going to do music any longer because I didn't see purpose in it any longer. I wanted to help people. So I found that health and holistic approach is necessary because I myself was going through health issues, right? I didn't put it together with the way that I was going through hard time, through divorce, and I was stressed. I didn't take that in consideration. I thought only the way I eat is a problem. So I went very like 180. I became vegan and I said, that's it. That's going to heal me. That's going to resolve all my problems, which was very wrong. I didn't come from a natural way. Oh, I feel like I need it. No, my brain decided that I need it. So I started learning about it. And once I started learning about it and I said, that's it. That's the only thing I'm going to do. And I started to give people consultations. And almost on the first or second client that I received, I realized that it's not enough. I realized that what the program, like eating program, like with calories and nutrition that I'm going to give them, it's not the case they're going to help because the person already, doing so much in terms of diet. And once I started talking to her, I realized there's so much psychological problem more than eating habits or anything like that. So I said to myself, even here, again, I feel like I'm, I put in the condition that it's not enough. So I started going and digging deeper. That's when I came to astrology because I was also trying to understand myself why I'm going through all of that, right? So instead of like asking people, give me and tell me what to do, I started learning about all these other things that teaching me how to use me, like an instruction for myself. And that's when I realized that about how I pursue my life. If I am authentic with myself and I wake up in the morning with a lot of energy and I'm really happy with what I do, that's the main thing, right? And it's just some basic things with like food, for example. I'm gonna tell you, I went through like the eating disorders because I was pushing myself so much with this being vegan, a right thing for me, that I ended up with the eating disorder. So I had to learn again, not from this outside source who tell me what to do and how to do it, but to learn how intuitively understand what is the most suitable for my body. And that was another journey. That's why when I bring it to people who, for example, come to me with voice and I know they have weight problem, like overeating problem, I always talk to them. Where was the moment where you maybe were emotional and you didn't express your emotion through the voice? What did you do at that moment? They're like, oh, you know what? That's the time when I go and I eat something. So like sometimes even the holistic approach in terms of like how to help person lose weight has nothing to do with the diet was supposed to give them, but more with understanding that you're not speaking through your emotions and being authentic to yourself. And the food is the outcome that gives you that comfort. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's why, like, for me, just being a nutritionist doesn't work. If the nutrition is the only thing that missing in a person's life, then yes. But if there is a lot of other problems and, like not happiness and fulfillment in life, that just the nutrition plan, I don't believe it's going to help. That's why I kind of moved from that. I worked like for about a year with that, realizing that, like just these programs don't work. It has to be integrative. Other things has to be taken into consideration. So that's why, like, in terms of health of the voice, I was learning more from the conference I went to that has not much to do with how you eat or what you eat, but if you don't do exercises and you don't work your vocal folds the same like you work your muscles in the gym, your voice will become older, the sound will change. So that's the healthy way. You have to always drink a lot of water and help your voice in terms of exercising. So the holistic became part of like my history more, and gave me more realization that where I am today and how I do my coaching work is in the correct way, because I feel more in tune with myself and how I teach.
Yes, consistency and discipline. Thank you for sharing all this wonderful insight. I'm going to ask you a few questions. The first thing that comes to your mind, please just utter it out.
Okay.
Okay. If you could only express yourself through one art form for the rest of your life, which would it be and why?
One art form. I would be, no, my brain started like working too much.
First,
I would be something like very fluid, mechanical wave, like sound wave, or something that like very changing in shape and colors, because I'm not consistent in terms of like my mood, my perception on how I see world. And I like water a lot. So and when I teach voice, I always create waves, and I explain things like waves. So I would be something very, not with sharp objects, but more of liquidy, like that, and changing in colors. So it's probably going to be like very art, not a solid piece.
right? So what is the one piece of advice that you would give your younger self before stepping onto the stage for the
on the stage, you mean like in general for like professional stage?
Yes.
I would say to my younger self, continue, just buckle up. There's going to be so much, but you're going to be able to achieve everything that you want. And another thing, always like continue to be true to yourself. Continue, like if some people don't like the way you are, they think they're too much or something, because that's what a lot of people would tell me. You too much, or like you too loud, or you that. Continue be that, because that's your experience. That's how you manifest yourself to this life, to this world. So I would just support younger me with, her ambition.
If your art could speak, what's the one message it would shout to the world? Just one message. I'm sure there are a lot. One message.
My art would speak very loud about authenticity and be true to yourself, because every single day is based on how authentic you are to yourself. You create your reality, so be authentic to yourself 100%.
If your life was a work of art, what would the title be?
Don't judge the book by its cover.
I love that. I love that a lot. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Just tiny.
Well, my recital, what is it?
From personal experience.
Yes, when I did my recital in university, when I was finishing my bachelor degree in musical theater, that was the name of my recital. And the reason to that, yes, because I received multiple times this feedback that, when I'm going to walk into audition or something, they will say, yes, she's beautiful, but we have this, improvement that usually, if you're too pretty, you're not going to be talented, or you can only fit into this one type. Blonde blue eyes, that means you're going to play a dumb blondie or something like that. And I was told that multiple times. And so when I was doing my work and my recital, when I was picking songs on like what I'm going to be singing, I showed how much people like that, like think, oh, she has beautiful life, she has this and that, a husband and whatever she wants, but they don't know what you might be going through. They have no idea how the person is built up. So my entire recital was built to show, how much more there is inside of people, and how the society is so shallow sometimes. We just judge based on what people have.
The stereotypes, right?
Exactly.